Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of My Crazy Keto Kitchen. My name is Aarika, and my sister, Candace, wherever she is. What are you drinking?
Ginger ale.
Why are you
Long night last night. Don't even ask. I don't remember half of it, so...
Well, funny you should mention, Candace. On the keto diet, we're not supposed to drink alcohol. You want to know why? Let me tell you a little story.
My name is Aarika. I have a cooking show, making tasty food that's healthy and keto. Diets and exercise can suck just a tad, but my crazy keto kitchen makes it not so bad. Welcome to the show.
There once was a time where, during my first stages of ketosis, I actually started drinking picklebacks. That is one shot of whiskey with a followed up shot of pickle juice. I figured since I can't have the sugar from sugary drinks, that maybe I could drink picklebacks. I had about 5 of them. Now, I'm a big girl. I can tolerate a lot of alcohol. But let me tell you what happened. All that alcohol had no carbs to soak it up, so it went straight to my bloodstream. Okay, let's just say the night ended with me butt booty naked in my bathroom with 2 of my friends as they hose me down. So, note to self, when you drink alcohol on the ketogenic diet, it's not good for you.
Beware. Be very aware.
Well, Candace, today you're in luck. Because guess what we're making?
What am I making?
Bone broth.
Hallelujah.
Let me tell you a little something about bone broth, Candace. Bone broth is not just for losing weight. It's not just for the keto diet. The keto diet is not just for losing weight.
True.
What else can the keto diet be for, Candace?
Well, it can help you regulate your entire body. I mean, your hormones, blood sugar levels, all over just a healthier lifestyle for your bones, your joints, organs, everything.
The ketogenic lifestyle is not just for people trying to lose weight.
True.
It is just that, a lifestyle. People with Alzheimer's, people with hormone problems, with thyroid problems, and it also helps you lose weight. So, today we are doing bone broth. Bone broth is amazing for you. Bone broth is rich in minerals. It helps with your immune system. So after all that crazy partying, hootin' hollering last night, it's going to replenish electrolytes and it's going to give you minerals to feel better. It has compounds like collagen.
Don't forget, Aarika, that the bone broth also reduces the inflammation in your intestines and helps your gut health all over.
So all that puking last night, this is going to do you real good.
Thank goodness.
We called her Moaning Myrtle from last night. Ah, man, been there. Don't want to do that again.
Awful.
Also, bone broth, because it's rich in its gelatin, it's also basically liquid glucosamine chondroitin.
Mm-hmm.
That helps your joints. So if you have problems with, what's it called?
Arthritis?
Arthritis, it's going to help you. If you have problems with...
If somebody around your office is sick,
Start drinking
that bone broth.
It's going to boost your immune system.
Yeah.
And you're going to need it.
And even if you're already sick, it shortens the lifespan of your illness, which is always nice.
True story. Just a few weeks ago, my husband was so sick with a cold. I started giving him bone broth, and within 2 days, it was completely gone. I started drinking it myself, and I never got sick. And I kissed the man, among other things. Okay. There was a reason back in the day why people would bring soup to make you feel better. Why? Because back in the day, soup was made with bone broth. It wasn't made with just this chicken stock that you get at the grocery store. It actually had real benefits. So Candace, you're in luck today.
Awesome.
Let's get started. So what we're going to need is chicken bones, raw or cooked and or cooked, beef bones, mirepoix, which is celery, carrots, and onions. And if you don't have these, I would recommend getting these Reynolds slow cooker liners.
So there's all sorts of different types of bone broth. As long as you have bones, you can make broth.
In My Crazy Keto Kitchen,
True story.
we don't waste anything. If we eat chicken with the bone in, what do? Put it in a bag in the freezer. We save it. You want to know why? Because we're going to use every part of that chicken.
Yep.
All right. So what we're going to do, today we're going to show you how to make chicken and beef bone broth. Now, with chicken bones, I know this is going to gross you out because it grosses my husband out every time. But let me tell you something. This makes the best chicken bone broth.
It looks so sad.
Chicken feet. I don't know if you can see the little feetsies. See the little feetsies?
You see the little nails hanging on there? They had nails.
I mean, look at this. For this entire pack, it was $1.92. They practically throw this crap away. They just want to, it's full of so much stuff. So much good stuff. So I get 2 packs. And also, if I have, again, my bones from the freezer that I've been saving, I also will throw that in there. So this right here is an entire carcass of a chicken. It's just the bones. It's got some gristle and stuff that's on there, but we're going to leave that one. Why? Because that's where all your collagen is going to come around from, which is going to help your skin. It's going to help you look youthful and radiant. They literally make collagen pills, which is just ground up this stuff.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So, honestly, I'd rather drink something that's delicious.
True.
You know,
and how many people out there, once they're done with the chicken off rotisserie chicken that they get at the store,
they
tosses it away. You can make perfectly good bone broth with that.
Exactly. Sam's Club typically has their chickens for what, $5 for an entire rotisserie chicken?
Yeah.
Now, purists will say to use organic everything, but we can't afford that mess.
No.
We can't afford it. So we get it where we can.
Struggle's real.
So what we're gonna do, that's for chicken broth. Chicken broth, you're just gonna put it into the pot. Call it a day. We're gonna show you how to make that. The second process that you can do is beef bones. Now these are a tad bit more expensive, but you can typically find them in your grocery store. Beef bones have to be baked before you actually throw it in the crock pot to boil.
Why?
Because it helps with the flavor, and it also is going to free up all those nutrients from the bones.
Good deal. Good to know.
So it's going to give it a much more, it's going to, I actually made a mistake when I first was making bone broth and did not cook the beef bones. And the broth tasted kind of, I don't know, earthy.
Gamey?
Kind of gamey.
Gamey?
But after I baked them for the second time.
Deer bone broth.
I thought deer. If y'all can get deer, that would be cool.
That sounds pretty good.
We're in an area, Tampa, Florida, where we don't have deer very often.
And if we do, we can't hunt them.
So, I mean, any type of bones, whether you want to use pork, you want to use fish bones, which those are pretty cool to make a fish bone broth stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little more touchy.
You can use shrimp too, can't you? Like the shrimp.
I don't know. There are some great books out there that you can actually look up recipes on how to make the stock. But today we're going to show you how to make both beef and chicken broth. Let's go ahead and start. Put your ovens to 400 degrees. So with the beef broth, we need to go ahead and get a pan. So we can go ahead and start rinsing off our bones. Also, these are called the marrow bones. Do not be scared if they say dog bone, dog marrow bones. Our local Publix actually just started renaming it to beef sliced marrow bones because of all the people using it for bone broth. But don't be scared if you do find one that says dog marrow bones. It's the same thing. All they do is slice the bones up. So we'll go ahead and wash the bones, and we're going to put them on a aluminum lined pan. Face down. 3 packs is a great amount, Candace.
Better to have more than not enough.
And let me tell you something, we go through this broth so quick. And whatever broth we haven't used, I put in the freezer for a later date. Like for my husband, when he was sick, I had already had bone broth in the freezer that he could start drinking.
And another good thing is, if you don't use the bone broth just to drink for health reasons, it's great in a lot of other recipes. You can make soups. What else can you make, Aarika?
You can use it to cook with. So anytime that a recipe calls for chicken broth or beef broth, you can cook with it. And this is what it should look like on an aluminum pan. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. So we're going to use one liner. Alright, so what we're also going to do now is go ahead and take any of our chicken bones and we're going to throw them in the pot. Chicken feet in. Okay. Rotisserie chicken carcass in. So after our chicken is now in the pot, we're going to cover it with filtered water. Don't use sink water. You want to have really high quality bone broth. This junk sells for like $15 a quart at the grocery store. You can make your own for just pennies on the dollar. Here we go. Let's go ahead and pour it in enough to where it reaches the top. And just a little bit more water, just enough to cover the bones. That's a good amount.
Now what we have last is some vinegar. What this is going to do is when you put it in with the bones, it pulls all the nutrients out of the bones and into the broth. That way you're not missing out on anything. It doesn't take much. Just a simple dab. Maybe about, if you wanted to measure it, probably about, what, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, somewhere around there. Great stuff to have. And this one is organic, so it's got the mother in it, so you know it's good.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get our beef bones out since they are done. This looks about right. Oh man, we got so much beef tallow right here floating around in the pan. Got it. Look at that. It's beautiful. This is what you want it to look like. All this extra tallow, we can completely save. Store it in the freezer. It's perfect. So now, since we have the chicken covered with the water with the vinegar, we're going to put the lid on top of it and we're going to cook that for 20 hours. Yes, you heard me right, on low for 20 hours. If you have a high-tack one that you can just keep on for 24 hours, great. Mine, it only goes in increments of 4, 6, 8, and 10. So after 10 hours, I'll just keep pushing it back on and it'll come back on. 20 hours is going to happen. After the 20 hours, you're going to take your mirepoix, which is your onions,
Celery,
and your carrots. You're going to put those into the pot, cook them for 4 hours. At that point, after the 20-hour mark, your bone broth is really done. You're just adding that mirepoix in to season it.
Exactly.
It's going to be delicious. That's where you can add any remaining salt that you want to, pepper, any spices, so if you want to do some fresh sage, fresh rosemary, fresh basil.
Depending on what your meat is, you can put really anything in there if you want it to have a specific type of flavor.
Yeah, so it's funny, like during Thanksgiving, we did a turkey broth, and we put fresh cranberries in there to give it kind of that flavor. We put sage and rosemary and thyme in there, and honestly, the broth had this weird kick like cranberry, but yet it was a turkey broth, and it had the mixture of the carrots and the celery and the onions. It tasted like Thanksgiving dinner in broth form.
It tasted like just like you threw the entire Thanksgiving dinner in a blender and just blended it all up.
So, we're trying to make them want to drink the broth, not vomit. This is not a show for babies. We don't blend food up.
I never said we're going to.
You said, but that's what it tastes like. You blend it.
Tastes like you threw all the
That
food
sounds
together.
like vomit.
all the food together. What kind of tastes like?
No, don't listen to Candace. It tastes like Thanksgiving. That's what it tastes
in
like.
the blender.
It does not taste like, it's not chunky. How is it going to taste like Thanksgiving in a
Why would
blender?
it have chunks if it was in a blender? If it was in a blender, what happened?
It'd be lumpy and pureed.
Like gritty.
Yeah, so no, that's not what it tastes like, Candace. It tastes like Thanksgiving. No, it doesn't. Moving onward. So we went ahead and prepared our chicken. That's the exact same thing you're going to do with the beef bones. You're literally going to put them in the water, cover it, add some vinegar, voila!
Done done.
20 hours. During the process of your bone broth, you want to make sure with a ladle, if you have a nice metal one, this is one of my favorite ladles. It's got a good weight to it. It's, you know, it's
Ready for action.
What kind of action, Gannon?
Some.
Whack, whack!
Well, you're kind of holding it like a weapon right now.
I know, but you know, it's just got to have a good weight to it. Same thing with like my spatulas. I want them to have a good weight. So anyways, what you want to do is while the broth is cooking, if anything floats to the top, because it's bones, different particles may float to the top. You just want to skim them off the top. Skim. If there's oil that rises to the top, you want to skim that off. Don't throw it away, because you can have, I don't know if you see it, it's actually smoking. Ooh. This right here is animal fat. You can use it for cooking. You can use it for its tallow. I don't know if you know this, but tallows are actually really expensive. If you try to buy tallow from the internet, it's going to run you a lot of money. So the key to the broth and getting the tallow out, you're just going to skim it off, throw it in a jar. Now Candace, why do we want to skim off that tallow?
Glad you asked, Aarika. For all those viewers out there, the reason why you want to save the oil from the top of the broth is because you want your broth to be clear. Now, whenever you keep fat in your broth, it could emulsify and basically cause the broth to go rancid a lot more quickly than it normally would.
Now, what happens afterwards, Candace? After the 24-hour period.
After you've added your mirepoix and your whole entire broth has cooked, there's going to be some chunks left, obviously, because that's bones. They're not just going to break down in the crock pot. What you need to do is strain your broth.
Broth typically stays good in your refrigerator 8 to 10 days.
That's about right.
Anytime over that, you definitely want to store it in the freezer. Keep it for a time when your kid's sick or your husband's sick, or you just need something to fill that chicken noodle soup. Faux noodle, of course, with konjac noodles.
Yeah.
But definitely anytime that's calling for broth, that's what you're looking for. Our beef bones just came out of the oven. They are beautiful, they are gorgeous, but because we're making the chicken broth today, we're not going to put the beef bones in till tomorrow. So I'm just going to store them in a bag in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow we're going to throw them in after this broth is done. Again, 20 hours cook time, skim the top, skim the fat, and then after the 20 hours, throw all your mirepoix in along with your seasonings. It's going to be delicious. And tell me how you think about it. I mean, tell me how it does. If it's not tasting as good, throw some pink Himalayan salt in it.
Pink Himalayan salt.
It's delicious, it's good for you. And if you're feeling fancy and if you have it on hand, some Italian truffle salt.
Ooh, yeah.
That drink's so good.
That's so good.
It's expensive. But your broth is going to save you a lot of money. It's going to save you a lot of heartache, a lot of sickness. It's fantastic for you. And other than that, was there anything else we need to talk about?
We can't do quality control, unfortunately, today like we normally can. This is a 24-hour process. But rest assured, we have tried this time and time again. Never fails.
Also stay tuned because we have an episode coming up that we're going to show you what you can use this bone broth for. Not just for drinking, but everyday cooking.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe below, okay? And tell your friends about it. Like us here on YouTube. And other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Canada Dry for all your hangover needs. What did you do?
I don't really like this start.
I don't like this start.
I don't like this start either.
This is a crappy start.
What am I supposed to say?
And now look. Are you pretending to clean dishes?
Ginger! Shh! That is true, Candace. What a great solution.
You're really saying that way because it's on camera.
No. Sorry.
Is that a hiccup or a burp?
It's a hiccup burp.
Rotisserie chicken carcass in.
Into season 1. Candace is still single.
Still single.
Okay. Woo!
It's out of the bones and into the blood.
Sorry, try it again. So now that we went ahead and...
Oh, did it catch me saying some moments?
Probably. If it didn't, it just did.